Shalom Akim. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rekakwadash. I want to give double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and Shalom to the elect. And this lesson is going to go into nuclear missiles, how they are in the scriptures, and also I want to go into how through this lesson, Salakia, you're going to see how nuclear missiles are in the scriptures, and you're also going to learn of the power of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai through learning about nuclear missiles, because everything that man has created, the Lord has given them the inspiration. Okay, and as you go in, because I was just looking up how hot is a nuclear bomb, right? So it says a primary form of energy from a nuclear explosion is thermal radiation. Initially, most of this energy goes into heating the bomb material in the air in the vicinity of a blast. Temperatures of a nuclear explosion reaches those in the interior of the sun, about 100 million degrees Celsius, and produce a brilliant fireball. Now, I read a few articles, but and basically for the most part, a nuclear bomb, as opposed to the temperature at the core of a nuclear bomb is 100 million degrees Celsius, and the temperature at the core of the sun is 15 million degrees Celsius. So on a very hot day, when the sun is out and people just trying to look for shade, that's unbearable. Certain parts of the world, Arizona gets 120 degrees Fahrenheit during the day. Which that's, let me see. That's 48 degrees Celsius, and that's hot. So imagine how much more, how much hotter is is a nuclear missile. Let's see. So a nuclear missile is 180 million degrees in the center of it. So let's do 180 million. That's 1.5 million times hotter than the sun on the hottest day. And these missiles represent the strength of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. Alright, so comparing it to the sun is Sirach 43:1. The pride of the height, the clear firmament, the beauty of heaven with his glorious shoe. The sun when it appeareth, declaring at the rising a marvelous instrument, the work of the Most High. At noon it parcheth the country, and who can abide the burning heat thereof? A man blowing a furnace in his work of heat, but the sun burneth the mountains 3 times more. Breathing out fiery vapors and sending forth bright beams, it dimmeth the eyes. Great is the Lord that made it, and that his commandment runneth hastily. Okay. And this could be a good article too. Let me see. But I might just read this one because I'm more familiar. Let me see, which one was I at? This one. I might just go into this one. Now it's a few scientific terms. I'll probably just read here and there. It's a lengthy article, but it just proves the point of how hot these nuclear missiles will be. So it says, ask Ethan, How can a nuclear bomb be hotter than the center of our sun? You know? So it says in terms of raw energy output, nothing on our world compares to our sun. Deep inside our sun, nuclear fusion transforms enormous quantities of hydrogen into helium, producing energy in the process. Every second, this fusion causes the sun to burn through 700 million tons of fuel, much of which gets converted into energy via Einstein's E equals mc squared. Nothing on Earth can compare to this amount of energy. But in terms of temperature, we've got the sun beat. That puzzles Paul Dean, who asked, the temperature in the core of our sun is usually cited at 15 million degrees Celsius or so. What I don't get is this. Some mid-sized thermonuclear test detonations done by the old Soviet Union and the USA have been recorded at, if only very briefly, 200 or even 300 million degrees Celsius. How can our pithy 3-stage hydrogen bomb blast be so much hotter than the dense hell of the sun's monster fusion oven? And I'll tell you how. Because the Most High, His Spirit, the Most High put it in the spirit of these scientists to do so. Right? Now it says, Isaiah 54:16, behold, I have created the smith that bloweth the coals in the fire, and that bringeth forth an instrument for his work. So now you see, slack it, just got a cramp in my leg. So now you see how the Lord, as we read, how the Lord is really in control, because the smith, as we just read, is someone who actually, the smith is someone who actually, bends and forms weapons to his will by the use of heat. Now, by the use of the sun and different things that they have to go off of, this is how these scientists have created such a powerful weapon as the as a nuclear missile, as a thermonuclear ballistic missile. So it says, behold, I have created the smith that bloweth the coals in the fire, and that bringeth forth an instrument for his work, and I have created the waster to destroy. So now, as you read through, you see what is that work that the smith, or these modern day scientists, who deal with such strenuous heat, who deal with such matters as, as energy, and strenuous heat. What was the outcome? Which is what? The waster to destroy. And that's what a thermonuclear missile does. As the scriptures say in 2 Peter 3:12, it says, looking for and hasting unto the coming of the day of Lord, and to the coming of the day of God, wherein the heavens being on fire shall be dissolved. Now the word heavens right there is talking about the earth. And not the whole earth, because scriptures say the earth abideth forever, but particular parts, namely America, which in scriptures is known as Babylon. The scriptures speak about how majority of Russia is going to be burnt off. Okay? So it says, looking for and hasting unto the coming of the day of God, Slakia. Hold up. Wherein the heavens being on fire shall be dissolved, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. Okay? So that's that fervent heat. All right? That which is hundreds of times more powerful, as far as temperature goes than the sun. All right, so it says, reading on in this article, it says the most powerful nuclear detonations on Earth and the interior of the sun actually have a lot in common. They both get the overwhelming majority of their energy from nuclear fusion, compressing light nuclei into heavier ones. The process of fusion is genetically favorable, meaning that the products are lower in mass than the reactants. This mass difference means that the missing mass, I ain't going to get into that. Number 4, in this process, for as long as it endures, injects a tremendous amount of energy into a confined volume of space. Right? So now, let's go into Second Ezra chapter 8. Verse 20, it says, O Lord, thou that dwellest in everlastingness. All right, and even Esau himself calls what he calls the world outside of this world outer space, because it's everlastingness. There's no telling where it begins or where it ends. It says, Slakia, O Lord, thou that dwellest in everlastingness in outer space. He even calls the earth his footstool. So if the earth is his footstool, a footstool is just what? An ornament in a room inside of his house. So imagine how big his house is. Which beholdeth from above all things in the heaven and in the air. All right? So you got to ask yourself that if the Lord is already sitting in the outer heavens, let me just keep going. So it says, which beholdeth from above things in the heaven and in the air, whose throne is 21, whose throne is inestimable, whose glory may not be comprehended. Because just when you think the Lord's glory is great, he goes even greater than that. Again, look at the nuclear missiles that the Lord allowed these devils to create. All right. Hey, look at the technology the Lord allowed these devils to create. You got Esau got technology, to allow you to record time. He has technology to allow you to what else? Esau got all types of technology, man. Technology to allow you to get in your car and go to work. Well, the car is technology. He even has self-driving cars, man. So Esau's technology is out of this world, But the Lord gave him that technology. All right, which first started in the heavens, because if the Lord gave Esau particular technology, he already had it. As far as technology, what I'm saying, like self-driving cars. All right, you think the Lord in the heavens got a steering wheel driving a chariot around? Hell nah, man. But let me digress before I go too far off the handle. Salakia. So it says, whose throne is inestimable, whose glory may not be comprehended, before whom the host of heaven stand with trembling, whose service is conversant in wind and fire. Going back into the article, whose servant is conversant in wind and fire. And this process, for as long as it endures, injects a tremendous amount of energy into a confined volume of space, you know? Because that's what happens when the nuclear missile touches down. It creates what? A huge mushroom cloud, as the scriptures say, that the heavens shall roll together as a screw. So it basically creates a huge mushroom cloud that, shoots hundreds of miles up in the air. And then what? It releases a tremendous amount of energy. That's that wind. That's that wind and fire. That's why the scriptures say in Zechariah 14:12, this is the plague that goeth forth throughout the whole earth. Well, let me just grab it. I don't want to butcher it. This is Zechariah 14:12. It says, and this shall be the plague wherewith the Yahweh will smite all the people that have fought against Jerusalem. Their flesh shall consume away while they stand upon their feet. That's that tremendous amount of wind. And their eyes shall consume away in their holes, and their tongue shall consume away in their mouth. Just imagine when, hey, you watch videos about particular hurricanes and tornadoes, that send cars flying. How much more winds, which, let's see, maybe I could find that. This is a tremendous amount of energy. But let's look it up. How strong are the winds? Oh, damn. So this is actually a good depiction showing you, the winds as you go far out from the, what it says, the hypocenter. You see? So let's see. The closer you get, the more destruction happens. And the scriptures speak about how there's going to be 200 million missiles in book of Revelations 9. So just imagine that. So hey, everybody going to be close to a missile, really, after all the the infightings and the starvation. Then the icing on the cake is the nuclear missiles. So the closer you get is complete destruction, and then further out is severe damage. Then further out is, which, hey, it don't really matter, because as I said, this place is gonna get, the Most High is gonna overkill this place with nuclear missiles. So every place is going to be what? Severe damage. But let's see if that actually goes into it. May exceed 1,000 kilometers an hour, 300 miles a second. God damn. It says this that's ridiculous. This is the blast wind at sea level may exceed 1,000 kilometers an hour. I believe MS stands for miles. Let's see. So if it's 1,000 kilometers an hour, that's 621 miles per hour. That's 621 miles an hour would be 10 miles a minute. 10 miles a minute, or a minute is 60 seconds. So divided by 621 divided by 360. That's 1 mile a second. That's fast as fuck, bro. You know, so the winds of a nuclear missile is gonna hit 1 mile a second. That's fast, man. Okay. So it says, now you see, when the scriptures say their flesh shall consume away while they stand upon their feet, and their eyes shall consume away in their holes, and their tongue shall consume away in their mouth. You know, hey, man, the missiles, man, ain't nothing to play with. And if you take the RFID chip, just prepare to learn the fear of the Lord the hard way. Okay. I think let me see. I believe I was finished on this 2nd Ezra 8 and 20. 8 and 22, whose service is conversing in wind and fire, whose word is true and sayings constant, whose commandment is strong and ordinance fearful, whose look drive up the depths. Oh, gotta grab Amos 9. You know, because the Lord is looking upon this place, and he's going to zoom in on it. How he's going to zoom in on it? With his nuclear missiles, with his chariots. You know, that's how the Lord is zooming in upon this place. Amos 9 and 8, behold, the eyes of the Lord power are upon the sinful kingdom, and I will destroy it from off the face of the earth. So Esau want to be the first to legalize gay marriages, legalize pedophilia. Well, he's going to be the first to, you know, be destroyed off the face of the earth forever. You know? But Slack, he's not the first, because you got Sodom and Gomorrah, you know. But this is more of a memorial because it's way larger, I would say. You know? And for the fact that we're going to receive the kingdom. We no longer going to go into slavery. Saving that I will not utterly destroy the house of Jacob, saith Yahweh. And that's the elect. But everybody else, you missile food, bro. All right. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 5. Verse 20. His severe wrath shall he sharpen for a sword, and the world shall fight with him against the unwise. Then shall the right aiming thunderbolts go abroad, and from the clouds as from a well-drawn bow. You know, and when you look into a ballistic missile as opposed to a cruise missile, a ballistic missile, I believe, I'm not sure if I have it up here. Okay. Okay, yeah, ballistic missile. It says the ballistic missile, which otherwise known as a thermonuclear ballistic missile, is targeted as a projectile from a single launch force with not much added guidance. It is launched directly into the high layers of the Earth's atmospheres. It travels well outside the atmosphere, and then the warhead detaches and falls back to Earth. It follows the path of a ball thrown upwards, which falls down. All right. Actually, let's read more into it. Since it depends on gravity to reach its target, it's called a ballistic missile. Okay. I guess the beginning ball going into how it happens. Ballistic missile that fly above the atmosphere have a much longer range than would be possible for cruise missiles of the same size. Ballistic missiles can travel extremely quickly along their flight path. An ICBM, or intercontinental ballistic missile, can strike a target within a 10,000 kilometer range in about 30 to 35 minutes. With terminal speeds of over 5,000 miles I believe it's miles per second, or maybe meters per second. Ballistic missiles are much harder to intercept than cruise missiles due to the much shorter time available. Okay, so now when you read it through the spirit, it says, and from the clouds, then shall the right aiming thunderbolts go abroad, and from the clouds as from a well-drawn bow. A bow that's well drawn hits its target. And it says it's coming from what? The clouds. Shall they fly to the mark, and hailstones full of wrath shall be cast as out of a stone bow, and the water of the sea shall rage against them, and the flood shall cruelly drown them. Yea, a mighty wind shall stand up against them, and like a storm shall blow them away. Thus iniquity shall lay waste the whole earth. All right, and again, this is not the whole earth, but it's going to seem like it because the Most High is going to destroy a lot of many parts of this world. You know, since they want to be partakers with the wicked, sinful kingdom, hey, they're going to be partakers with the judgment of it. Thus iniquity shall lay waste the whole earth, and ill dealing shall overthrow the thrones of the mighty. So with that, Lord willing, I hope and pray you are edified. Shalom to the elect.